Thank you for tuning in. Judy here. If you're interested in fascinating discoveries in the world of science, you've come to the right place. Right now, I upload one video to this channel each and every week. Okay, my friends, before we dive into today's topic, please allow me to thank the friends who bought me coffee from my website last week. Thank you so much for your kind support, my friends. Thank you. You see, my friends, I have a huge brain compared to the size of my body. Yeah, I talked about it when I talked about the link between brain size and wisdom in one of my previous videos. I'll put this link in the description in case you would like to watch it later. To this day, our knowledge of neurobiology of wisdom is still in the early stages of development. But wisdom is reportedly associated with the brain, so sometimes I make jokes like the brains among us are eaten by the orange. Anyway, the health of your brain is very important, and maintaining a functioning lymphatic system is crucial for brain health and memory. Why? Well, similar to the rest of the body, the brain also generates waste and has a waste removal system of its own. And lymphatic system is the brain's unique waste removal system that uses cerebrospinal fluid to wash away excess proteins. And according to some studies, this clean system, along with other waste removal systems in the body, are most efficient when one is asleep, which means a major function of sleep is to enhance the brain's waste clearance mechanism by potentiating the lymphatic system. So, sleep well is crucial for keeping your lymphatic system enhanced, making your brain more capable of removing unwanted waste. In healthy and young brains, the lymphatic system does a good job of flushing away these toxic proteins. However, as one ages, the cleaning system slows down, and the waste in the brain can cause cognitive impairment and some diseases that are associated with the accumulation of protein waste in the brain, like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Speaking of these age-related diseases, I've talked about some potential treatments for the diseases. If you would like to watch them later, please check them out in the description or comment. So, some recent studies suggest that the problems with the brain's lymphatic clearance may play a role in Alzheimer's, meaning that reviving the brain's waste removal system might reverse Alzheimer's. Moreover, a 2024 study showed that strengthening the waste removal system in the brain's mice improved their memory. Yes, the study discovered that reviving the brain's trash-removing mechanisms may slow or even reverse mental decline. So maybe in the future, memory loss can be restored, and diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's can be treated by reviving the waste removal system in the brain. Sounds fascinating, right? So let's hope it'll work in the near future. Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. My name is Judy London. I'm an average person, but I don't worship billionaires nor do I love dictators. I fight for freedom, democracy, human rights, and science. And I upload weekly TV series which talks about history, culture, economics, and more. So what are we gonna talk about today? Trump's Purge. Yeah, you heard me right. Trump's Purge. Not Stalin's Purge. Why? Well, if you're not new to this channel, you'd know that I've already talked about Stalin's Great Purge. If you don't recall, I talked about it in two videos called No One is Safe in a Dictatorship. If you haven't watched them yet, please check them out in the description or comments. And if you like the content on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. It won't cost you anything. Yeah, I've studied dictators and talked about some of them in my previous videos. Why? Well, I hate dictators. Dictators. I mean, all dictators, they do same kind of things like controlling the media, purging the people who criticize them, and so on. And my friends, dictators hate the news media companies that dare to speak out the truth about their bad policies, and they also hate the people who don't praise them. Yes, they only wanna hear people praising them and their policies. If they hear opposite opinions, they try everything to destroy the news media companies and the people who criticize them. So they purge people. I feel sad because I warned people about this. Yet here we are. As you've seen, Trump has already been purging the lawyers he doesn't like and the law firms who have helped immigrants, and the judges who have obeyed the law, not his orders. In fact, I've written some poems about Trump's purge. Yes, those poems were my previous predictions about this kind of situation, to warn people, as I wrote them about a year ago before the election. And you know what? It turns out I was right. I was right about the order of this purge. In one of my poems, I said Latinos will be purged first. And now they are being purged, right? So Trump's purge has begun. Who's next? In my personal opinion, Africans are the next one to be purged. Just like I predicted it in my poems. If you would like to read them, I'll put the links in the description as well. By the way, I believe that Muslims would also be the next one. And then, well, my predictions remain the same. So, my friends, if you wanna leave and you wanna know when you should leave, I think it'll depend on your personal conditions, like property, job, family, and so forth. Where to go? It's also up to you. Canada, the UK, etc. Your decisions to be made. I wish you the very best. Hi everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Judy here. If you're interested in fascinating discoveries in the world of science, you've come to the right place. Right now, I upload one video to this channel each and every week. My friends, do you know human beings don't age gradually? Yes, according to a new study, human aging isn't a gradual process, but rather occurs in two major bursts of rapid change. First, at around age 44, and next at age 60. In fact, plenty of research has already shown that changes related to aging may occur more suddenly during certain time in our lives. And the previous study had found there's another burst of aging at around 75. Now I know why I used to think my maternal grandpa always looked the same before he turned 100 years old. You see, my friends, if you're not new to this channel, you'd know that my grandpa was almost 70 years older than me. So when I was a child, he was heading to his 80th. In my memory, he was always that old, and I used to wonder why he always looked the same. Thanks to science, now I know the very reason human beings don't age gradually. This new study followed 108 participants over several years to observe aging changes in their molecules, like proteins. These participants lived in California, were healthy, and came from diverse ethnic backgrounds. The researchers found many of the molecules and microorganisms in our bodies suddenly increase or decrease around ages 44 and 60, creating aging peaks. For example, the ability to metabolize caffeine sharply decreases in a person's 40s, and once more around 60. So age-related diseases like cancer, Alzheimer's disease, and cardiovascular disease rise faster during these two waves of aging. Also, the study found people aged 60 or older are more susceptible to cardiovascular disorders, kidney issues, and type 2 diabetes. But, my friends, this doesn't apply to everyone. Like my grandpa, who lived to 102, had never gotten sick until he was 96. Unfortunately, he got a small brain surgery when he was 96, and after that, he was not as healthy as before. But I believe he would have lived longer if there were no COVID-19 pandemic. Anyway, the researchers suggest if you're approaching your 60s, you should watch your carb intake and drink plenty of water to aid kidney function. Yes, there are ways to slow the changes associated with aging. The easiest way is through lifestyle changes. So, my friends, eat healthy, sleep well, and stay active and positive, and enjoy your long lives. Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. Judy here. If you're interested in fascinating discoveries in the world of science, you've come to the right place. Right now, I upload one video to this channel each and every week. You see, my friends, I've talked many topics about Parkinson's disease in my previous videos, since more and more people fight against the disease. Though there's no cure, treatments are available. If you don't know the disease, it's a progressive neurological disorder. First symptoms of the disease may include little expression on the face, difficulty walking, and soft or slurred speech. Parkinson's disease may be related to a variety of underlying Parkinson's disease causes, including genetic predisposition and exposure to certain environmental factors. Speaking of certain environmental conditions, a study found that golf course pesticides may increase risk of Parkinson's disease. But no worries, if you're just like Trump, go there and play golf. You're fine. Speaking of Trump's golfing, according to Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, as of March 30th, Trump's golfing has cost taxpayers approximately $26 million. And according to Huffington Post, a typical Trump golf weekend costs taxpayers $3.4 million, sometimes even up to $4.2 million. But Trump will never get Parkinson's disease because of golfing, since it's not about golf, it's about pesticides. Yeah, many golf courses in the US use pesticides to maintain aesthetic standards, and pesticide exposure has been linked to increased risk of developing Parkinson's disease. According to the study, areas that share drinking water supplies with water used near golf courses were the most greatly impacted. Yes, the study showed that people who were in a water service area with a golf course had nearly double the odds of the disease compared with individuals in water service areas without golf courses. The researchers found that people who lived within 3 miles of a golf course may increase the risk of developing Parkinson's disease. For people who were in a water service area with a golf course in vulnerable groundwater regions, this risk increased by 82%. People living within a mile of golf courses have a 126% higher risk of developing Parkinson's disease compared with living more than 6 miles away from a golf course. So, according to the study, areas with water systems vulnerable to pesticide pollution from golf courses had a higher prevalence of Parkinson's disease. Yeah, drinking water from municipal wells near golf courses in vulnerable groundwater areas may be a risk. So be careful, my friends, if you live near a golf course. Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. My name is Judy Faye, London. I'm an Irish person, but I don't worship billionaires, nor do I love dictators. I fight for democracy, freedom, human rights, and science. And upload weekly to this series, which talks about culture, economics, and dictators, and various events and people in human history. You know, my friends, I'm an Irish person, so I always want everyday people live by their lives. Ordinary people work hard and they deserve to be treated better. Also, as you know, I don't believe in any doctrines. I only believe in myself and candyism, which doesn't exist because Candy was my late dog. But in Candy's world, the country is ruled by two or more parties, and average people are taken good care of by the government. However, it doesn't exist. In reality, the ruling party doesn't want everyday people to live well, to live long lives, which is why the so-called One Big Beautiful Bill is gonna cut Medicare and Medicaid. As you know, Medicare is a federal health insurance for people aged 65 and older, and some people under 65 with certain disabilities or conditions. And Medicaid is a joint federal and state program that helps cover medical costs for some people with limited income and resources. Medicaid offers benefits that Medicare doesn't normally cover, like nursing home care and personal care services. According to the Yale School of Public Health, the changes to federal health care programs of the One Big Beautiful Bill would kill more than 51,000 Americans annually. So here's the question. Why do they want to kill ordinary people, especially poor people? Well, in my opinion, some evil people at the top just want healthy young people to work, work, and work. And these evil people want ordinary people to die as soon as possible once they get old or they can't work. This way, the government doesn't need to pay back. As for disabled people, they along with low-income and elderly people are considered as the country's liabilities by these evil people. You know, when a businessman runs a country like running a company, he would get rid of the liabilities, right? So these evil people want them to die as quickly as possible. Yes, they've been telling people that taking care of everyday people is socialism, but it's a huge lie. Taking care of everyday people's lives is the government's duty. Everyday people work hard, harder than the rich. They deserve to be taken good care of by the government when they get old or sick. No one wants to age. No one wants to be disabled. No one wants to get sick. A free country shouldn't just use healthy young people to make money for the rich and the government and then get rid of them once they need help and care. So I say this so-called One Big Beautiful Bill is inhumane. Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. Judy here. If you're interested in fascinating discoveries in the world of science, you've come to the right place. Right now, I upload one video to this channel each and every week. Okay, my friends, you know that I've talked about vitamin D deficiency in my previous videos. If you're not new to this channel, why? If you're a new friend and you would like to watch it later, please check it out in the description or comment. Yeah, today we are gonna talk about vitamin D, more specific vitamin D3. As you might know, vitamin D is an umbrella term for two forms of the vitamin D2 and D3. Though the two forms offer the same health benefits, vitamin D3 is generally considered most effective for raising and maintaining vitamin D level. That's right. Both forms of vitamin D are good for your health. They play a vital role in supporting immune health and bone strength. Moreover, some studies have shown the benefits of vitamin D in reducing inflammation and lowering risks of certain chronic diseases of aging. And now, a new study just found that vitamin D3 has another benefit. It may slow cellular aging, meaning it may promote longevity. Speaking of longevity, you know that I've talked about many topics in this field, right? If you haven't watched those videos, please check them out in the description or comment as well. And please hit the subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. Thank you. By the way, it won't cost you anything. So, according to the new study, vitamin D3 may slow aging by 3 years. What? How? Well, the study found that vitamin D supplements may protect against a key driver of cellular aging and age-related diseases. Yes, the researchers found that vitamin D3 supplements helped preserve telomeres. If you haven't heard of telomeres, they are protective caps at the ends of your DNA, and they help keep your cells stable every time they divide. You know, every time your cells divide, telomeres get a little shorter and don't protect chromosomes. Yes, telomere shortening is a normal part of aging. When telomeres get too short, the resulting DNA damage can lead to cell death. The good news is, this new study found that vitamin D3 supplementation helps minimize the shortening of telomeres in white blood cells, which could help slow down biological aging. But, my friends, please note that the researchers said taking a pill or a dietary supplement will never be a substitute for a healthy diet and healthy lifestyle. Moreover, they warned too much vitamin D can be toxic. So if you wanna increase your vitamin D intake, you'd better talk with a trusted healthcare provider in order to find the right approach for you. Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. My name is Judy Faye London. I'm an average person, but I don't worship billionaires, nor do I love dictators. I fight for freedom, democracy, human rights, and science, and upload weekly to this series, which talks about culture, economics, and history, and more. My friends, do you remember that I talked about the film The Texas Chainsaw Massacre when I talked about Elon Musk's chainsaw and Doge? Of course, if you're new to this channel, please check it out in the description or comment. Yeah, today I'm gonna talk about a fallacy that also relates to Texas. The Texas Sharpshooter Fallacy. The name comes from a metaphor about a Texas man with a gun but no shooting skills, who fires a number of bullets into the wall of a barn, and then paints a shooting target around the fortuitous cluster of bullet holes, and claims to be a sharpshooter. The Texas Sharpshooter Fallacy often arises when a person has a large amount of data at their disposal, but only focus on a small subset of that data. Yes, human perception tends to identify patterns where none actually exist. We ignore differences and focus on similarities, thus coming to a false conclusion. A conclusion is made based on only the criteria that produce the desired outcome. I think this is the very reason that Trumpers believe Trump's lies, especially his 2020 big lie. They believe his lie because their desired outcome is Trump won, though in reality he lost. You see, my friends, when they desire meaning, when they want things to line up, when looking for something specific, they tend to notice patterns everywhere, which leads them to ask the question, did Trump win? And they believe he won. They don't only believe his words, but also believe the false data and information they found. Just like the Texas man who believed himself a sharpshooter first, Trumpers believed Trump's words first and reached their conclusion. And then they began to look for the so-called evidence to support their false conclusion. And they really believe Trump won. However, like I've said in my previous videos, I believe that Trump knew that he lost. He just couldn't admit the fact that Biden won the 2020 election. And to this day, he still continues spreading this lie. Yes, it's Trump being Trump who cannot stop spreading lies. As for Trumpers, they are already in the world of the Texas Sharpshooter Fallacy. They are already deeply in the MAGA code. They cannot stop being Trumpers. So I think they'll continue believing his lies, even when their lives are damaged badly by his policies. What do you think, my friends? What's your take? Okay, my friends, In case you don't know me yet, I'm Judy Faye London, a fan of Jack London. I'm a published writer who writes fiction and non-fiction novels and short stories. You're very welcome to visit my website judyfaylondon.com or Amazon to read my poems and my short stories. The last one, Mr. Rat, Candy the Dog, and so on, and my latest non-fiction book, Living with the Walking Dead, a roadmap for achieving your own success. I hope to see you there, and I thank you so much for your kind support, and thank you very much for subscribing to my YouTube channels, Judy Faye London and Judy Plus. Judy Faye London is a channel that mainly talks about culture, economics, and dictators and various events and people in human history, while Judy Plus is a channel that talks about interesting discoveries in the world of science. Thank you for watching. And my friends, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscribe button. It's totally free. Thank you.